boss music.
We got a ship.
Oh, there's a ship.
We got a ship that's out of the ocean, my guy.
Okay, I'm panicking. We're panicking. Oh God, they're trying to get to us.
Promos. You know all about those.
I do.
He's given his fair share of promos, and so has your tag team partner. You're both killer on the mic.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a reason why people love to hate you and cheer for you, and even though you're dicks to them, they still cheer for you.
Sometimes, yeah, it's odd.
Dude, there was that kid that showed up with a White Claw Outlaws t-shirt and wanted y'all to sign it.
No, there was we had one little kid come out to a show and had a sign made with pictures of us cut out of a picture he printed out and made his own shirt and everything. It was
dude,
pretty wild, dude. To have that experience was crazy.
That's amazing. I mean, just having a fan be that driven to do that is just insane.
Yeah.
And you see, we've met fans out in public. You know, we've met fans while we were out at me was at a Walmart tire shop. It was at what was it? It was not Burger Bar, but Steak and Shake.
Yep.
Up near the Pinnacle, which I'm sad that place is closed now.
Yeah, I know. What a travesty.
Yeah, and I've also been recognized at some of the conventions I went to, including one in Pigeon Forge, and a dude was dressed up as Serpenticus from Has-Been Hotel, looked right at us and said, "Wait a minute, don't I know you guys from somewhere?" And I was just like, Renegades, right? And it's just like, oh my God! And all of a sudden, he just started screaming, and then about 10 more people crowded together, and all of them remembered us as well, and they were just like all wanting pictures and giving us hugs and all that. I'm like, this is different.
Years ago, we got recognized at the convention, too. I was with you. Remember we were walking down the hall?
Yeah. Dude.
And then, like, 3 times in Knoxville, some of you guys have shouted me out and called me down.
Yeah, that's
I've
right.
run into several of you guys since I've been traveling to Knoxville a lot. And
I remember that bar, you actually did a video with.
Oh, yeah, because I ran into a kid, and, he was all about some Nate. I was like, dude, hold on. Let me call. I did.
You tried to call me, and I was busy. But then I saw that you tried to video call me, and I'm like, I called you back, and then you're like, oh, hey, real quick, man, hold on. You take it over to the kid, and he's just like, this kid's a fan of yours, man. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, he was tripping.
Yeah, and
wild times, man. It's good to see you guys. I always appreciate it when people say what's up.
Same, dude. I can't express enough the appreciation for all the love that we get in the comments, all the love that we get in person. Again, just thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
But again, on the subject of wrestling promos, not everyone's good at them in the beginning. There are very few who are super good on the mic from the drop.
Yes.
For instance, going back and watching The Rock's early promos when he was smiling Rocky Maivia.
Not good.
No. But when he became The Rock, when he joined the Nation, that's when you finally started to see the shades of those promos really coming out. That would be legendary in the future.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's also Stone Cold Steve Austin, who went through several iterations of different characters. He was part of the Hollywood Blondes, and then he was Stunning Steve Austin.
Yep.
And then he became he was the Ringmaster for a little bit, and then he became Stone Cold Steve Austin and
Jerry Lawler. Before
Jerry,
he was the king.
Legendary.
Once he was the king, it was over with. But he was in the business forever before he really broke out as Jerry the King. But his promos were fucking unbelievable, dude.
Oh,
if you want to see a man carry a crowd, just look up some old Jerry Lawler promos. And now I will preface that with, you got to think about the time period he was cutting these promos in.
Yeah.
All right, because there are several of them that are a bit
edgy. Let's just
dated.
Say that. Yeah,
would be a good way to put it. But man, and Ric Flair. God,
oh my God, you can't. Yeah,
that guy.
Everyone that we've mentioned has a top 10 list on their own.
Oh,
they are more than merited of a top 10 list. But sometimes promos can go bad, and when they go bad, it's best to just, wrap it up and move on.
Yes.
But sometimes they just keep going.
Suffering succotash.
And sometimes the bad wraps around to being good again somehow.
Sometimes.
And it's amazing when it does happen, but it's few and far between. So, Parts Unknown has crafted a top 10 list, 10 funniest, so bad they're good wrestling promos.
Oh, God.
So, we're going to check these out. This was recommended on our Discord, by the way. We always like watching wrestling stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me and Chad have always been huge wrestling fans.
Good and bad.
Oh, yes. So, let's take a look and see what Parts Unknown has to say. Here we go.
Talking, hey, what's all that about?
Hey,
Putting
Adam.
a number of sounds together in recognizable sequences to convey information or emotion or an idea. The ability of a good promo might actually be more important to the art of wrestling than wrestling itself. A good promo sells tickets, a good promo makes a star, a good promo puts your butt in the seat, and ultimately, if two wrestlers wrestle in the woods and there's no one around to see it, then honestly, how much longer can Impact stay in business? That was me. History is full of amazing promos cut by amazing talent, some that have even revolutionized how wrestling can be presented in the modern age. Hi, Colt Cabana, how are you in fact doing? And then there's bad promos, poorly delivered, boring, a waste of everyone's time, and then there's the item off the secret menu, the wrestling promo that's so bad, so gloriously awful, that it goes full circle and becomes iconic. In its
Every
own way.
Warrior
And
promo.
hailing from
Yes.
Parts Unknown, here are 10 funniest so bad.
Except the one that he gave the day before he died.
That wasn't really a promo,
Well,
But I do agree with you. That was probably the best.
it was him speaking from the heart.
Yes.
And it was him being honest and wrapping up his career as best he could, knowing full well, I think he knew that his time was limited.
Dude, I have that situation still kind of boggles my mind.
The next day.
Yeah.
After being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I was about to say Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then having that ballin' ass promo on Raw, boom, that was it. Jim Helvig was no more.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Warrior.
They're good promos. If you'd like to see nothing but good promos, then subscribe to Parts Unknown.
Hey, I see what you did there, Adam.
Promos on each other and doing very
Mr. Blampier.
silly wrestling things, most of which are bad, but most of them are so bad they are good. Honorable mention, Shockmaster's debut, because honestly it's one of the most over-mentioned promos in wrestling history, but how can a man Kool-Aiding himself into existence before landing on his bejazzled stormtrooper face, then lip-syncing a promo whilst desperately trying to wipe the egg from that face, while some of the best wrestlers in NWA history and Sid stand around and themselves? How can that not at least poke his head around the corner and say hello and then fall over? Number 10, Gangrel destroys his whole character. All vampires end up directing porn. It's like all things ghosts.
All vampires end up directing porn.
Sometimes,
That's really funny.
yes, that's so messed up.
To heaven, but with porn. Before he went into the only business with more grunts and fluids in professional wrestling, Gangrel was one of the most instantly awesome gimmicks in the Attitude Era. His flaming entrance, his awesome music that combined Muzak and heavy breathing better than any of the stuff he would direct later in his career, his bloodbath shenanigans, his harem of lovely blonde Canadian boys. It's just such a...
And the Hardys, don't forget the Hardy Boys were
Yep.
also part of
The New Brood.
Yeah, but very limited time.
Yeah.
The Hardys took off so much that the New Brood was axed basically
Yep.
right after it was born.
shame they once put a microphone in his hand. On an episode of Shotgun Saturday Night in October 98, Gangrel came to the ring to call out Edge, and oh, it's bad, lads. The juxtaposition of the cool, supernatural badass with how he cut his promo, like a loud, inarticulate high school jock talking whilst desperately trying to do algebra in his head, and the only ways he knows to do that is gargle marbles. It's so sadly funny. And to be clear, that's WWE's fault. If a character is cool without saying a word, then don't have him say words.
Yeah, like The Fiend. But yet, you still found a way to ruin that somehow, some way.
Yes, they did.
And now there's talk that Bray Wyatt might be going back to the big dub because Vince is no longer in control. Creatively, Trips is. I much prefer Triple H's booking than Vince's.
We'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed. I'm hoping for good things.
We'll see.
But
when it comes to this kind of shit out of WWE, I just don't hold my breath. So if it,
I don't either.
I would rather be pleasantly surprised than to anticipate something great and it be dog shit. So.
Yeah, I want to be. I would rather be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Especially when the words aren't this hilariously awful. Number 9, Luther Reigns has had peas before. This one's just weird. You can cut promos on pretty much anything. You can cut a promo on a person, on an event, on an entire company. Luther Reigns once cut a promo on Thanksgiving itself. That's not really a weird idea. Baby faces celebrate a holiday, out comes a heel to tell everyone why the holiday sucks. Reliable heat. And on an episode of SmackDown in November 2004, Luther Reigns interrupted a very big show Thanksgiving. Joy Giovanni made a giant buffet in the middle of the ring, no less. Thank you, Joy. All seemingly for the Big Show, who cuts an incredibly long promo and invites Taz to come grab some pie. Luther Reigns, Roman Reigns' older brother, and that's absolutely true, trust me, came down and cut a passion promo about how when he grew up, they didn't have Thanksgiving. So far, so fine. But then Luther gets into the ring and continues his promo, angrily telling Joy to fix him a Thanksgiving plate. And it's so funny. Like, he's still raging, but now he's also demanding mashed potatoes, with the highlight of the promo being Reigns screaming into the mic, "Give me some of them peas. I've had peas before." Amazing. And I've looked it up, and it's true. Luther Reigns has an actual fact. Had peas before.
Yes.
Number 8, a steamboat and a dog. Don
No.
the Rock Morocco may not be a name that's instantly memorable to modern WWE fans, mostly because another The Rock came along and was ever so slightly more famous. But he's had some accomplishments. Unofficial King of the Ring, he held the Intercontinental title for over a year in the early 80s, and he also cut one of the most hilariously awful promos committed to film. In 1986, the hyper tag match between Ricky Steamboat and the Junkyard Dog versus Morocco and Mr. Fuji, Morocco told an incomprehensible story of how a steamboat, not Ricky Steamboat, but an actual steamboat, made friends with a dog, including a snarling impression of said dog. To try and save the segment, Mean Gene points out a number on Morocco's jersey, to which he responds, "It's all the numbers. It's all time and numbers and space." Uh-oh, thinks Mean Gene. Don has no idea what he's saying.
I love Mean Gene so much. Like you
Yeah.
could tell if he was into the promo, like you could see like his eyes are like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. Whenever the promo's not going well, he's like looking off into space, just like, what the hell am I doing with my life? What am I doing?
Yeah.
I could be hosting Monday Night Football instead. I'm doing this shit.
Mm-hmm.
I heard he actually got an offer to do Monday Night Football, and he turned it down because WWE offered
The
him
business,
more money.
Yeah.
Before Morocco continues, maybe 64, maybe 65, maybe 46 in somebody else's eyes. Don, what are you talking about? Number
It was the
7,
cocaine.
Lucha Things.
Oh.
The joy, the sheer joy of Lucha Things. An iconically bad promo, and honestly, one of Kalisto's biggest legacies from his time in WWE, and Kalisto, we're really sorry about that, but also, no one is sorry because it's absolutely wonderful. In 2016,
What are you going to do on
SmackDown
SmackDown?
going live on Tuesdays,
Lucha
WWE
Things.
reinstated the draft, once again dividing its roster into people who suddenly really liked wearing red t-shirts and people who would murder you in your bed if you ever suggested they wear something other than a blue t-shirt. As part of the draft, several wrestlers got an interview about how they felt being on their brand and wearing their new t-shirt, including Kalisto, who cut a promo like he was being held at gunpoint, muttering something about doing good lucha things, which I think is the technical term, before having an almost complete nervous breakdown, and then just running away, shouting "Wahoo!" as he did so, which I believe is Spanish for "Oh, I've just fucked up in the funniest way humanly possible." Number 6, McMahon's $1 Million Mania.
Oh, God, this is
human
so
being
bad.
ever destroy the sexual tyrannosaur that is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. He's the genetic jackhammer. His grapefruits were forged in the fires of Mount Doom, and he has no allergies. However, he's also a grandpa who doesn't know how to operate a phone and loathe the duality of man. In one of WWE's infamous blunders, a scheme so dog-assed that even WWE have no choice but to make fun of it themselves, Vince launched McMahon's $1 Million Mania in 2008. Basically, to boost ratings, Vince would randomly call people live on air. If they could prove they were watching Raw, they'd win some money. It was a beautiful disaster. People weren't home, kept putting Vince on hold, with the whole music being amazingly Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. Vince,
You gotta think. I wonder if that was on purpose.
Oh,
if
for
the dude,
sure.
If the dude who was operating the phone lines was just like, you know what? I want to troll the whole damn WWE universe.
Ratings are so bad that they want you to call in and prove you're watching the show.
Yes.
That is fucking hammered.
Yeah. Thank you again, Vince.
Yeah.
rolled himself live on TV, or while getting increasingly flustered and cutting awkward promos about these kids and their darn fancy landline technology. Wonderful. Number 5, your t-shirts are too tight too, Billy. Cut from Vince's old man yelling at clouds to Lex's old man yelling at shirts. It's one of the most famous wrestling shit promos, a memeable favorite of wrestling box
I don't know.
like OSW or Botchamania. In 2004, which is over a decade after Lex Luger's heyday in WWE, he was cutting a promo for Cyberspace Wrestling Federation founded by Billy Firehawk. And I'm not entirely sure that Lex was happy with how the promotion was treating him. Difficult to tell, except no it isn't at all, as Lex cuts arguably the most impassioned promo of his entire career, railing against whether or not the promotion could even afford to pay him, screaming the iconic, "I don't know," straight down the lens before trying and failing to rip his t-shirt over his head, screaming almost purple with rage, "And your t-shirts are too tight too, Billy." Come for Billy Firehawk's financials if you must, Lex, but you leave the t-shirts out of it. Number 4, yep. Talking about this is pretty
Jumpin'
neat.
Jet
Also
Farmer,
gosh darn
yeah.
hilarious because it's the answer to the age-old question, what if a newborn deer cut a wrestling promo? Jumpin' Jeff, as white meter baby face as you could get, was cutting a promo in IPW against Motley Crue, a man who evidently had turned some sort of tables on him. In an interview segment that carries the heartbreaking subtitle "Recorded Earlier," which suggests they had the opportunity to not air it, or crazier still, get a better take, and they chose not to. Honestly, it's hard to tell through the grain, but Jeff Farmer looks on the verge of tears at all times. Not tears of rage, tears because he's only just been born and wants a nappy nap instead of cutting a promo. He starts the promo by saying, "Yep," then a pause you could drive a bus through, before mumbling sadly about how he doesn't like when things aren't going my way, before finding a semblance of babyface fire, having no idea what to say next, instead screaming, "This time I'm going full force." Poor lad. Number 3.
If you got the time to cut a better promo, I mean, dude.
Well, you got to think, this was probably back in the early 80s, and they probably just brought this guy in, he's green, and they're just like, whatever. You shit the bed in a promo, learn from it, young buck, because that's the way this shit goes, and if you suck, then you suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
Hey, once you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up.
Look, man, I've, seen some pretty fucked up shit similar to that, where it's just like, oh, you suck, well, too fucking bad, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I've
you
sucked,
have too.
Well, yeah, dude, I've sucked for almost the last 9 years here on YouTube. I'm still going. What?
You said you've sucked for the past 9 years. I said,
oh no. I'm gonna check my phone at you.
If you're not stopping now, you've probably learned a thing or two.
Oh, shut up.
Sid's brain. I mean, all Sid promos would have been a fine title for this entry. The man talks like refrigerator poetry, but the only magnets available ones of really incomprehensible yelling, and the refrigerator's full of murderers. His infamous "We're live, pal" blunder is a pure joy, as well as the backstage segment where he finds his flattened car and yells "Goldberg" with all the intensity of King Lear being disemboweled by an even crazier King Lear, but got to go.
Oh, that's that one was gold. But also, casual Scott Hall with the Central Florida t-shirt on.
Right. Do you know how much Scott Hall cared? None.
This was when WCW was dying. This was the nosedive of 2000.
He definitely does not give a fuck right here.
Nope. Dude, the whole thing with the Sid Vicious, the promo where it's just like, let me tell you. Damn, can we start that again? We're live, buddy. Do it. Just had to keep going.
Yeah.
And then the one is like, Goldberg!
With the one that's so funny, it pops the boys. When in WCW he confronts the outsiders in the ring, Kevin Nash is wearing a mask to look like Sid. God, he looks like Oz's son. And Sid drops the bomb on them that they are half the man that he is, and of course, that Sid has half the brain that they do. Cue the late great Scott Hall repeating what Sid said in Kevin Nash's ear, and both men flat out pissing themselves, laughing, the most joyful of wrestling folks. Number 2, the...
Because of course they did.
Dude, I mean, if it pops the boys in the ring, I guarantee in the back, Like, they were asking, like, Sid, what the fuck were you doing, man?
What
like,
are you doing?
Like, what have you been drinking? And then all of a sudden, Scott's like, what have you been drinking, man? Because I want some.
Yeah.
You know.
Genesis of McGillicuddy. Oh, Curtis Axel, you were too good for this world. A
Yeah.
one-man wheelbarrow of
Underutilized.
entertaining wrestling crap. Let us count the ways that you entertained us with Axel Mania. Lovely. With the chains are off. Amazing. Shouting, this is supposed to be serious. I'm a serious wrestler in a Saturday morning slam match with Sheamus. It ended with Curtis Axel accidentally rolling up and trying to pin the referee. Whatever the whole yee thing was, but his masterpiece of terrible wrestling glory was, of course, the genesis of McGillicuddy. A supposed to be serious promo he cut on the old game show era of NXT, where he tried to big up his future in the company by saying, and here it is word for word, and starting this moment, from this moment on, this will be the moment, starting now.
Get on with it!
Of the genesis of McGillicuddy. Brevity is not the soul of wit. Mr. Perfect's son is the soul of wit. And number one, all Scott.
All Scott Steiner promos. Yes.
Yes! Yes!
Yes, dude. I can't say enough to
Late
this.
WCW Scott Steiner promos are some of the best things ever.
Dude, one of the wrestlers that I am proud to say that I went to a show and paid at his merch booth just to talk to him and shake his hand is
Absolutely.
Scott Steiner, dude.
Dude.
I don't care if people think I'm a mark for that. I straight up had to meet Scott Steiner, dude.
Dude, it's Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
The Steiner recliner.
The genetic freak, dude.
Yeah. The baseballs in his fucking biceps. Come on, man.
I mean, if you can go out there and scream about taking women to the peak and that you're the big bad booty daddy and nobody's wife is safe and all this shit, I'm gonna show up to fucking meet this guy.
Yes.
He's funny as all hell, dude. Those promos, I even told him there, I was like, dude, you know your promos are viral online to this day, and his response was that it's no surprise to him that some people somewhere are still making money off of him. You know,
I mean, it's true. I mean,
it's true.
If anything, the whole thing is it's sad to see, like, you know, he seems like a decent enough guy.
Yeah, he was just chilled, had his shades on, you know,
Yeah.
He's not a very bombastic, like, let me go around here and make a big scene with everybody. You know how some wrestlers are out there doing this and that.
Yeah.
He just sits at his gimmick table, and he's not mean to the fans. I mean, he's just not out there trying to grab ass with anybody.
Yeah. God. Anyway.
Steiner promos. I mean, how do you choose? History's most sexually charged lunatic. Cutting promos where he screams gymnasium jazz into the world, and if you can't decode his special messages, then that's just your genetically inferior fat ass's fault. He's a promo cutting force that can't be controlled, will not be controlled, especially by the pencil neck geeks over at TNA, who had no choice but to sit back and watch him scream extraordinary nonsense over their airwaves. The promo he cuts on Team 3D and their fat asses is Hall of Fame worthy, but how could it be anything other than Steiner math for the top spot? A madman's manifesto and a one-man crusade against meaning itself. You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Samoa Joe and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you've got a 50-50 chance of winning, but I'm a genetic freak and I'm not normal, so you've got a 25% chance at best at beat me. Then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastic go down.
Drastic go down.
You got 33 and a third chance of winning, but I got a 66 and 2/3 chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me and he's not even going to try. So Samoa Joe, you take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning if we was to go one-on-one, and then add 66 2/3%, you've got 104 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice.
So many times I've heard that promo. It's beautiful. It is poetry.
Sheer fucking poetry.
Sheer wrestling perfection. Thank the Lord for Big Papa Pump. And that's our list. What's your favorite terrible promo? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video around if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to Parts Fun Those for more silly wrestling content. And never forget to jam that jam. Talking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was... Wow.
I didn't find anything new, though.
No, me neither. I mean, well, other than the, yep.
Oh, yeah.
That one, I hadn't heard about that.
Oh, you didn't know Jumpin' Jeff Farmer?
No.
No, you got to actually watch the actual promo. You can't just leave it at that then. You got to see Jumpin' Jeff Farmer.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. It's not very long.
Earlier we talked to Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Let's go
Yep.
now to that interview.
He goes,
Folks,
I'm
Jumpin' Jeff
mad
Farmer.
now.
Jeff, a while back, what a match you had with Motley.
Yep.
dude, I'm telling you, man.
And the...
No, you got to watch the whole thing.
Probably the hardest match I ever had in my life. But I don't like it
when things aren't going my way.
Motley Cruz, you turn the tables on me. You turn the tables in the wrong way. You got me mad now.
You got me
I've stood
mad
around.
now.
I've listened to everything you had to say. I did everything necessary.
Yes.
But when you turn around and you backstab me one way or another, and you cheat me out of what's rightfully mine, that's when I get angry. Now I'm the one doing the challenging. I'm issuing a challenge to you, Motley Cruz. Get in the ring with me. This time, I'm going full force.
Jumpin' Jeff Farmer. Now let's go to the ring.
Guarantee you, the dude with the microphone looked right over back at Jeff and was just like, what the fuck was that?
Yep. What the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
Good God.
Guarantee he was just so nervous. He was in the ring, just like, do a hit toss. Yep.
Yep.
Clothesline. Yep.
Yeah.
Pow. It's like, you want to go through the table? Yep.
Nope.
Nope. It's like, I heard a yep. Nope. Was that a nope? Yep. Okay.
God.
Oh, fudge. Oh, fun. Fun times.
Wrestling.
Fun
I love
times.
it.
Anyway, so that was the best promo ever. It's Yep.
Yep.
Yep. It sounds like Logan. Whenever Logan's just like off doing his own thing, it's like, Logan, are you causing mayhem? Yep. Every
when
time.
you backstab me one way or another.
It's like when you turn around and you backstab me.
Dude.
It's like, it's not how that works, Jeff.
He didn't know what he was doing.
Again, he was a kid.
Yeah.
You live and you learn.
Plus, back then, how often were you on camera, you know?
Not often. I mean, especially like indie promotions didn't have the money to afford like, basic camera equipment. Anyway, so yeah, those were the 10 bad wrestling promos so bad that they were good by Parts of Unknown. If you want to see more from Parts of Unknown, click their name. If you want to see more from us, hit that subscribe button. Y'all know the deal. And until next time, I'm Nate.
I'm Chad.
We'll see you later, everybody.